This guide aims to help HFL players at any level to design and improve upon their offensive strategy. There are 3 major keywords that any person playing HFL should have a general understanding of: REITs, grid, and systems. Additionally, understanding these concepts will help you to read and predict the moves of opponents while on defense. A route in HFL is the most fundamental piece of any offense. A route is generally a pattern of movements ran in a sequence that can be easily understood by the quarterback. They're universal and allow you to comprehend the movements of any teammate you may have, with little to no communication being necessary. Routes are useful for a couple of reasons. A good route can keep your receiver away from spots that may be heavily guarded, such as the corners of the end zone. But what makes routes particularly useful is it can give your team many good openings for potential passes in a single play. As a quarterback, it is important to watch the defenders that are nearest your receiver and pay attention to where they think the pass will be made. When a more simple route is being ran, be wary of passing to spots that might be covered to avoid passing an interception. A good receiver will understand when their route has been read by the defense and will adjust their route to avoid the defender or switch to a new route completely. A team with experience in versing highly competent defenders will often make their own routes with asymmetrical patterns to confuse the defense into defending the wrong spot. At the end of this video, I will demonstrate a few of the most universally known routes that are often referenced to by veterans. The next most important keyword to understand is commonly referenced to as grid. Similar to chess or battleship, grid, as a concept in HFL, is to map out the tiles of the playing field in algebraic notation. Although this can vary slightly, typically the long horizontal rows of the end zone are marked by numbers, and the vertical columns are marked by letters. To quote-unquote use grid, teammates would privately communicate a specific spot or a specific sequence of spots in the end zone to pass you. For example, the sequence might be A1, D1, B3. However, using a grid can be less favorable in comparison to routes due to the fact that passing opportunities are limited. For newer players, it should be noted for that using grid, a voice comms in general, is generally frowned upon by many players, but important to have an understanding of nonetheless. The final keyword we will be discussing in this video is systems. Systems are essentially methods of nonverbal communication done by the receiver that signify what and where the receiver will be running. A good system has the ability to add infinite flexibility to your offense. The most commonly used system is as follows. In practice, a team will define a portion of the field as a sort of imaginary end zone. After heck is called, the receiver will run to a spot on this imaginary end zone, which will specify where that receiver will be expecting to be passed to at the end of the play. More complex versions of this specific system might include mirror this field to confuse more perceptive defenders. Just as an example of the possible complexities of systems, a receiver starting to the left of the quarterback might run their usual system and routes as normal. But when the receiver starts to the right of the quarterback, a thickened playbook of more confusing, unreadable routes, disguised as the usual ones, will be ran. You can begin to imagine from this one example the dynamics that a system can bring to the offense of any team, and better understand and defend against those that try to use these techniques on you. With these tools added to your bag, you can begin to craft your own advanced offensive strategy for your team. In the remainder of this video, we'll show the most popular routes in HFL. Thank you for your time and for supporting Origins Football League.